In this interview post, we're continuing with the mind, being, spirit, and physical body trinity relationship of separation, where we have explained how within the past, before the portal opened, we were moving into dimensions of separation throughout our process of reincarnation, from being spirit into physical body, into mind, and then back from mind to soul or being, and how within this reincarnation, this process was managed by the soul system to ensure that within this physical existence, we remain within and as our pre-programmed life design path. And the heaven existence keeping us separate from our beingness and physical body, so that that substance, that resource, that force can be utilized to create, generate, and manifest energy for the continued survival of consciousness and the heaven existence, while our beingness, physical body, and this physical existence is sacrificed. Within this, as we mentioned in the previous interview post, we're going to have a look at an interesting analogy in relation to our minds, our consciousness, that which we participate in within our minds, the thoughts, emotions, feelings, images, pictures, scenes, imaginations, fantasies, internal conversations, knowledge, information, and the content and the nature of that which we participate in within our minds as consciousness, where at the moment our minds are more like factories, businesses, in how it is that our very minds are factories that are producing energy from its relationship to the physical body, our beingness. So our beingness and physical body is being used as a resource to create energy from and of. And the machines in this factory that ensure that relationship for the factory to create its product, which is energy and specified energy in relation to particular specific emotions and feelings, is through what we participate in our minds as the thoughts, memories, imaginations, fantasies. I mean, simply have a look at anything and everything you participate in within your mind will have or produce a particular emotional or feeling reaction, experience, or response. And that reaction, experience, or response of energy as an emotion and feeling is the product that our factory as the mind is creating. And the product was being channeled or shipped to maintain the factory, which is consciousness or the mind itself, and or was channeled or distributed or shipped to or into the heaven existence. And or, as we have said before, in the demon dimension, the demons also indulged, in this particular product that was created as energy, as emotions and feelings. And the various types and kinds and forms in which energy can exist. Our particular factory, as the mind, as consciousness, can produce a variety of products. The demons, one can essentially say the ones that were stealing in terms of, using the energies or the products at their own will. And obviously, within this process of the factory functioning and existing as the mind and consciousness, money is involved in, and with money being involved, what is also involved is sacrifice. I mean, if we have a look at factories within this physical existence, physical resources are being used, are being sacrificed for products to be produced. And those sacrifices vary in terms of degrees of extremities, in terms of how nature is sacrificed, the animal kingdom, the environment to produce or create products. And within this is this exact same relationship to the physical body. I mean, the physical body is being sacrificed to various degrees of extremities in relation to how consciousness is resourcing energy from physicality to produce it into various particular specific forms in terms of the various kinds of emotions and feelings that can exist within oneself. Now, within this, what is happening in this process is that the heaven existence or did in the past, they were the ones that benefited from the particular products as energies that we were creating, and consciousness itself was benefiting. Our beingness and physical body, on the other hand, was being sacrificed. The same exists within this physical existence, how factories are being set up that are producing and creating products that only benefit the elite or the factory itself, while, I mean, human lives, nature, animal, and the environment's existence is being sacrificed. And now if, for example, here what you have in a factory, which is all your workers, and we have the same in our minds. We have all our workers, which is our various different characters and personalities, in how we move and shift between being one person one moment and the next person the other moment, and depending on who we are in a moment towards something or someone, will produce very particular specific thoughts, imaginations, memories, fantasies, and all those type of things will start coming up as the production machine starts activating and then initiating the consciousness or the mind to resource a very particular specific product as energy, and there we create an emotional or feeling experience, and there the product is created, and from there channeled into the unconscious, or was channeled to heaven, or the demons stealing. So within this, what is also prominent within factories, within this physical existence, is pollution. And we do exactly the same within the environment of our physical bodies, our beingness. We polluted our beingness, our physicals, with energies, with resonances of energies. One can essentially say, like the pollution of a factory that's producing a product, or creating a product, while it is changing and transforming physical resources into products, which represents money, the pollution that is let out of that factory is like the resonant aftermath of that process of changing physical resources into products, into money. The same happens within our mind-physical relationship, where the process that the physical body undergoes when it is literally being stripped down into its substanced form to from there be changed into energy, that whole process emanates a resonance and vibrations and movements that is released into our beingness and physical body and starts layering and starts accumulating. Just like pollution in the environment, in the very molecules or atoms within the air itself starts accumulating, starts layering, starts becoming more and more and more and more. And within that is where and how and why we now exist in the hierarchical separation of the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, quantum mind, quantum physical. Within the very quantum physical exists the base platform of all of the layered and accumulated resonant pollution, if you will, from the mind-physical relationship that has existed as ourselves, that had become and merged and manifested into our very beingness, our very nature, our very physical substance. And that pollution had essentially then become the definition of who we are, the platform of who we are that is used to constitute, create, and manifest the mind and consciousness. So within this, if one also have a look at referencing the interview series on EQAFE, many of them explain, for example, the effect thought resonance, memory resonance, emotional and feeling resonance, the aftermath that it create as it ripple and move and resonate within and throughout your beingness and your physical body, how it change and layer and accumulate into and as the very structure, fabric, tissue, design of the physical itself, and how it consequently changed the very real physical relationships of our physical bodies. And so pollution is not just something that is, for example, accumulating in the air or in the environment of our physicals. It's like the physical is now changing its very structure in relation to constructing it in the chemical design or code of the pollution itself. In other words, it is like, for example, when having a look at the factory and it's releasing the aftermath resonance as the smoke, as the pollution, as well as the chemicals that is released into the environment in that process of changing physicality to a product, into money. And as that pollution merges into the air itself, what's happening is, it's like imagining taking an atom or a molecule, and that pollution has got a particular chemical code, a particular design, a particular structure to it when you have a look at it microscopically. And now what's happening is it's starting to layer within the natural layering of the molecule. And as it layers, because there's so much layering that happens in the pollution within the molecule, within the atom, the structure of the atom, of the molecule itself, starts changing in relationship to the chemical constitution or the program code of the pollution. And this is what is happening in relationship, in relation to our minds and what we participate within it in its relationship to the physical body. We are programming the very physical body in ways that is in no way yet even conceived of or understood, because everyone is still only existent in the conscious mind hierarchy, is not even aware of the mind or consciousness relationship in the subconscious, unconscious, quantum mind, quantum physical, into the very physical body itself, and how thoughts and thought resonance, thought vibration is moving within your beingness, within your physical body, and recoding, programming, and changing the very natural constitution and manifestation and structure and design of your physical body. And these changes are minute, but the consequences of them accumulate eventually within and throughout one's life experience, which then alter and change relationships within the physical body itself, And there we get to, for example, in the physical weaknesses, disease, illness, sickness. I mean, we're going to get into explaining how it is throughout our lifetimes within this physical existence that the physical body condition had worsened throughout time, both in our mind, physical relationship, the physical in itself and how it's responded to the mind, to consciousness, to energy, and then obviously our external relationships in relation to nutrition. And obviously the question have to be considered, why had we as a human race, why hadn't the physical in itself evolved into absolute perfection? Why has its constitution worsened and dramatically declined throughout the generations? And even within ourselves, our beingness, our minds, why had it not evolved to perfection? Why is human nature devolving? So within this, to understand how, the principle of as within, so without, we are polluting this physical existence. We are polluting our beingness, our physical body. I mean, one can have a look at the nature of the human. We are really polluted in terms of the consequence of what we have become within who we are. If you simply have a look at the nature of what it is that we can so easily accept and allow ourselves to participate in when it comes to the mind, to consciousness. So within this, obviously, we have to have a look at then, what is the solution? Why have we gotten to an internal and external existence of pollution, of consequence, of sacrifice, where within our minds, consciousness, for energy to exist, we had to sacrifice our beingness, our physical bodies. The same externally, for money to exist in the way that it does. Human beings, the physical existence is being sacrificed. And we're simply accepting and allowing this. I mean, what is it that we don't want to give up? I mean, we're, for example, presenting a solution such as the equal money system, which will align relationships to equality and oneness, where we explore different ways to equalize our relationship to nature, the animal kingdom, humanity as a whole, this physical existence, so that this consequential relationship of how we're approaching money now doesn't exist. And it's interesting how and why this connection would exist, that human beings wouldn't want such a solution, because of the extent of definition in our relationship to money and energy. Meaning there's that direct as within, so without connotation. So what would exist on an unconscious level within the human's mind is that if money externally change, and money being representative of the energy of consciousness in the mind, that would mean how I am existing in my relationship to energy in my mind or consciousness will also change. So people don't want to give up energy. They don't want to give up money and their definition to it. And will even hold on to it when it means they're sacrificing themselves, their physicals, humanity in this physical existence as a whole. So it's quite extreme, the concern that we really have to look at, in that we wouldn't consider change in relation to money, for example, because we would more hold on to our own interests than considering a solution for all of humanity, for this entire physical existence as a whole. And, what is then the external and internal solution? How is it that life was supposed to be within humanity and this physical existence as a whole? So here we're going to get into the analogy of the tree, and how our minds, ourselves, in relationship to the physical body should have been equal to and one with the tree. And within this, how much of life, of this physical existence, are as the actual answer to the solution of ourselves and humanity in this physical existence, are we in fact missing? Because we're so controlled and defined and tunnel visioned by energy within and money without. Right, we'll continue more in interviews to come. Thank you.